Okay, Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalam ala sayyidil mursaleen, Nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Okay, welcome back everybody. Today we are on the next page of Surah Al-Mulk, and the ayah begins with وَأَسِرُّوا. وَأَسِرُّوا. So if you remember, the ayah before talked about those who fear Allah based on knowledge. Okay, and Allah said for them is maghfirah wa ajrun kabir. And we will see how these two ayat, how they connect together. Okay, so we have wa here. Wrong pen. Okay, so wa is and. Okay, but here usually the and is continuing what has already preceded. But here Allah is starting a new sentence. Okay, still translated as and, but it's beginning a new sentence. It's a different type of wa. Asirru. Now this is fi'lul amr. Okay, it's a command where Allah is saying that make your speech quiet, or make it secret, or conceal it. Okay, conceal qawlakum. Conceal what? Or make secret what? Qawl. Qawl is speech. Okay, so here is speech. And whose speech? Kum. So you all. Yeah, make your speech. وَأَسِرُّوا قَوْلَكُمْ. Make your speech, or conceal your speech, or make it secret. Okay, sir is a secret. So conceal it, make it hidden. وَأَسِرُّوا قَوْلَكُمْ. Oh, here we have O, which is or, and usually the waw will have a dhamma, a sukoon on it, but because of this sukoon here, that we can't have the two sukoons meeting, like I mentioned before. So there is the kasra on the waw, awijharu, and this is another fi'lul amr, okay? Ijharu, which means to make it jahr, make it apparent, or make it public. Okay, so conceal your speech or make it public. أَوِجْهَرُوا بِهِ. Okay, and this is this B is a harf here, and the here is referring to the qawl, okay, the speech. So either make it secret or publicize it. Okay, and this is the it here. And this B goes with this verb ijharu, okay? Ijharu bih. So I'll just go over that again. وَأَسِرُّوا, so conceal, and conceal قَوْلَكُمْ, your speech, or إِجْهَرُوا بِهِ, or make it public. Okay, whether you keep it secret, whether you make it public, Allah is saying here, إِنَّهُ. So we have inna, which we did yesterday, indeed. And this who, okay, is referring to Allah. Indeed, He, okay, i.e. Allah. Indeed, He is Alimun. Okay, and this is one of the names of Allah, Al-Alim. He is all-knowing. Okay, the one who has ilm in a very comprehensive way. Okay, He has an all-encompassing knowledge, and we will go through that in more detail, inshallah. Okay, but for now, I will write all-knowing. So you can make something secret, make your speech secret or publicize it. Indeed, He, Allah, is all-knowing. He's Al-Alim. He's Alim bidhati sudur. He's Alim of what? What is He knowing of? He's Alim of dhati sudur. That is something that has a presence. Okay, so something that is present in the sudur. And sudur is a plural of sadr, okay, which is the chest, like we see in Surah Nas, okay, fi sudurin nas, okay, this waswas that the shaitan comes with and whispers into our chest, into our hearts. So sudur is the chests. So indeed Allah is alim bidhati sudur, of what is present, bidat, what is present in the chests. In the chests. So whether you speak secretly or whether you speak publicly, indeed Allah is knowing of whatever is in your chests. Okay, it doesn't even need to be spoken. Allah is aware of it. Okay, and that's the general translation. We'll go on to the tafsir, inshallah. Okay, so Baghawi, he said that Ibn Abbas radiallahu anhu, he said about this ayah that this was revealed about the mushrikeen in Mecca. Okay, so this is called Asbabun Nuzul, the reason for revelation. And he said that the mushrikeen in Mecca, they used to speak ill of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So Jibreel would inform him of what they said. Okay, and remember this is a Meccan surah, so this happened in the time before the Hijrah. And because Jibreel would inform the Prophet ﷺ of what they said, they would say to each other that speak quietly, speak quietly, don't speak so loudly, so that the one whom Muhammad worships doesn't hear us. Okay, so speak quietly so that the deity of Muhammad ﷺ does not hear. Okay, and then this ayah was revealed, whether you speak secretly, whether you speak publicly, Allah is knowing of what is in your chest. If He knows what is in your chest, then He is indeed knowing of what you say secretly and what you say publicly. And Baghawi said, should not the one who created the chests know what is in there? Okay, He is the one who created this sudur, so He is the one who knows what is in there of every single one of us. Ibn Kathir, he said that He, the Most High, okay, Allah, clarifies that He is all-knowing of all matters that come across the hearts. So anything to do with the heart, okay, He is all-knowing of it. And Imam Sa'di, rahimahullah, he said, whether you speak loudly or you speak quietly, it is all the same to Allah. Okay, there is not a single hidden matter, a single discreet or quiet thing that would ever be hidden from Him. And He is certainly Al-Alim, all-knowing of what is contained in the chests of all things, okay, in the chest. That is to do with, that could be the intentions, that is your wishes and desires, and if that's what is in the chest, then how about the actions and the things that are heard and that are seen? So the actions and the statements. If Allah is all-knowing of what is in the chests, in the hearts, okay, so our intentions, our desires, our belief, okay, then how about our actions, the things that are apparent, or the sayings, okay, that are seen and heard? And this is, this is something that we should reflect upon often. And the way that it is linked is because of this belief in knowing that Allah is alimun bidhati sudur, okay, He's all-knowing of what is even in our chests. Then this should lead to the khashya that we talked about yesterday. Yeah, innal ladhina yakhshawna rabbahum, the ones who truly fear their Lord based upon this knowledge, okay, the knowledge that He is alimum bidhati sudur. So when Allah tells us that He knows things that we don't say, okay, He knows things that we don't say or mention, okay, the subtle things that are hidden, and even certain things that we will not be held to account for, because if it is in your heart, something that you wish to say but you don't say it, then you will not be held accountable for it. But the true belief and the true iman, true piety, okay, this bir is in the heart, okay, and Allah knows of it, but it is manifested in our actions and on our tongues. Okay, so iman, we know, is a belief in the heart, but it is also statements of the tongue, and it is the actions of the limbs. So the true belief and true piety is will be made apparent. So then I have a question, okay? So is a person's thoughts or intentions found in your brain or in your heart? Okay? And does your thought process go on in your brain or in your heart? Because we are taught the brain. And Imam Ash-Shanqiti, he answered the question, and he said that the Quran proves the place of intellect is the qalb, okay, is the heart. And you'll see Allah uses different words for the heart in the Quran. He uses qalb and qulub, He uses sadr and sudur, He uses fu'ad, He uses many different words, okay? And sometimes there are reasons for them, sometimes they are just interchangeable. But Shanqiti, he said that the Quran proves that the place of intellect is the qalb, is the heart, not the brain. Okay, because Allah said in the Quran, one of the evidences He uses, so this is فَتَكُونَ لَهُمْ قُلُوبٌ يَعْقِلُونَ بِهَا. So they have hearts, okay, that they use, that they have hearts that they use for their intellect, okay, that they use to think with, that they have hearts that they use to think with, which is linked to their intellect. So the thinking that we believe is going on in the brain, Allah is saying here that they have hearts that they have to think with, okay, that they have to use their aql, like we have this here, يَعْقِلُونَ بِهَا, they use their aql with it, yeah, they use their reason with it, they use it to think. Allah also said, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَذِكْرَى لَمَنْ كَانَ لَهُ قَلْبٌ. Verily, there is in it a reminder for anyone who has a heart. Okay, and this is not, the brain is not mentioned here. The reminder is for those who have a heart. The ones who will benefit from the reminder is the one whose heart is accepting of it. In a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ, he said, verily in the body there is a morsel of flesh, and if it is sound, then all of the body will be sound. And if it is corrupt, then all of the body will be corrupt. And there is no brain mentioned here. Okay, the heart is what seems to be in control of the limbs and the tongue. Some of the ulama, they try to bridge the gap between Ahl Sunnah, okay, who believe the intellect is in the heart, and the philosophers. Okay, so they said that the foundation of the intellect is in the heart, but the light of that intellect reaches the brain. And this is how they try to bridge the gap between the two. But Allah mentions the heart and not the brain when He talks about the aql, like we saw. Okay, and that was the tafsir from the ulama that we go through. So to summarize, okay, you cannot hide anything from Allah. Okay, whether we do something secretly or openly, Allah knows. He knows what is in your chest, He knows what is secret, and He knows what is publicly announced. And we know, for example, there was a story of the woman who went to the Prophet ﷺ, and she was complaining about her husband and her situation. And it says that she tashtaki ila Allah. So she went to the Prophet ﷺ, but she was complaining to Allah. And Aisha radiallahu anha, she narrated this hadith. And she said that I was in the same room. She was in the same room, but she did not hear what this woman was saying to the Prophet ﷺ. But who responded to her complaining? Allah. قَدْ سَمِعَ اللَّهُ قَوْلَ الَّتِي. Allah heard the statements of this woman. Okay, the woman who was complaining to Allah. And Aisha radiallahu anha, when she narrates it, she said, I was in the same room and I didn't hear what she said. But the one above the heavens heard and he responded. SubhanAllah. Okay, and this is to do with Allah's knowledge and obviously His ability to hear and see. Another example that was given is the story of the tahrim. Okay, when the Prophet ﷺ, he shared a secret with one of his wives. Okay, you might be familiar with the story actually, but the Prophet ﷺ loved honey. Okay, and one of the wives, I think it was Zainab bin Jash, and she, radiallahu anha, she had some honey gifted to her. So when the Prophet ﷺ would visit her, he would stay that slightly little bit longer because he was having a taste of the honey. Now the other wives, they were feeling this slight jealousy because of the fact that he was spending a little bit extra time having the honey. So then they came up with a plan that whenever he would come to them after having the honey, after visiting Zainab, radiallahu anha, they would complain that there was a bad smell coming from his mouth. And he, the Prophet ﷺ loved to be clean and he loved to smell clean. And so they knew that this was going to affect him. And when they did it a few times, he realized it was always after he'd had the honey. So he made this honey haram on him. Okay, he made it haram on him and he told one of his wives. Okay, and the strongest opinion is that he told Hafsa radiallahu anha, and it was mainly her and Aisha radiallahu anha who had come up with this plan. So he told her that he was not going to have the honey and not to tell anyone about it. Okay, not to tell anyone about it. But obviously, she had come up with this plan with Aisha radiallahu anha, and she wanted to share that, the plan worked. So she told Aisha radiallahu anha. And Allah said in the Quran, okay, He revealed in Surah Tahrim, وَإِذْ أَسَرَّ النَّبِيُّ إِلَى بَعْضِ أَزْوَاجِهِ. Okay, so when remember when the Prophet ﷺ confided to one of his wives, okay, haditha, a statement, فَلَمَّا نَبَّأَتْ بِهِ, okay, when she told somebody else about it. Okay, she told somebody else the secret, وَأَظْهَرَهُ اللَّهُ عَلَيْهِ. So then Allah made it clear to him. Allah made it apparent to him. Allah made it known to him, sallallahu alayhi wasallam. عَرَّفَ بَعْضَهُ وَأَعْرَضَ عَنْ بَعْضٍ. Okay, and he had made, so the Prophet ﷺ went to the wife and he made it known that he knew that she had told somebody. Okay, عَرَّفَ بَعْضَهُ. So he made part of it known that he said, you know, I know that you told somebody. فَلَمَّا نَبَّأَهَا بِهِ. Okay, when he told her about it, قالت, she said, مَنْ أَنْبَأَكَ هَذَا? Who told you? Who told you that I told somebody? And what was his response? He said, قَالَ نَبَّأَنِيَ الْعَلِيمُ الْخَبِيرُ. The one who told me is Al-Alim Al-Khabir. Okay, the one who is all-knowing, and his knowledge is encompassing of everything. And he's Al-Khabir, the one who is all-aware, the one who is aware of even the subtle things in the dunya and in the heavens and in the earth. So these are two examples from the Quran where Allah would make apparent His knowledge. Okay, when when the Sahabas would come to the Prophet ﷺ with situations or with dilemmas, or they had questions and he hadn't yet been sent revelation regarding that, then Allah would hear and He would know. He would know and He would hear and He would send an appropriate response within the revelation. Okay, and this is why the iman of the Sahabas was so strong, because they would, the revelation was made apparent to them. They could see, oh, look, I just asked a question and Allah has sent the answer. And their belief in the fact that He's Al-Alim was very strong, because they saw the results of that. So for Allah, everything is the same. Okay, whether you keep it in your heart, or you share it as a secret with somebody, or you tell others, but none of this is hidden from Him. Okay, Allah said in Surah Taha, if you speak aloud, indeed He knows the secret and what is even more hidden. So He knows what is even more hidden than when you share that secret. So you cannot hide anything from Allah, anything. Okay, so Allah is Al-Alim, which we know means that He's all-knowing, or He is perfectly knowing. Okay, and He is knowing of the Dhatis Sudur, that which is solely in the chest. Okay, the place where nothing can escape from. Okay, this Sudur is the place where even the deepest of secrets that never escape, Allah knows of them. And if He is Al-Alim about this, okay, then He is Alim when we share it or when we publicize it. And as I said before, it's connected to the previous ayah, because due to this belief that Allah is Alimun bidati sudur is what brings about this khashya, okay, this fear-based knowledge. So I have another question for you. Does the Shaytan know what you conceal in your heart? Okay, there is no doubt that the one who knows what is in everyone's chest and what there is no doubt that the one who knows what is in everybody's chest and what we conceal is Allah. Okay, but also there is no doubt that the Shaytan is the closest being to knowing what is going on inside us. Okay, Allah said that the Shaytan flows through the children of Adam like blood. Okay, just as your blood flows through you, the Shaytan, he flows through you like this. And this is why fasting weakens the Shaytan, because fasting weakens our blood flow. Okay, and this weakens the effect of the Shaytan. And the Shaytan, he's given enough knowledge of you, because Allah has permitted this to fulfill the purpose behind. This is part of the test. Okay, the fact that he has knowledge of you is part of the test. But he will say on Yawm al-Qiyamah, okay, he will say, I didn't have any authority over you except that I called and you answered me. So the fact that he may have a certain level of knowledge of what is inside us doesn't mean that this is what causes us to disobey or to come off the track. Okay, this is not what causes us to deviate, because, and he will say, I didn't have any authority over you. He has no power or any control over us. We still choose to be influenced or choose not to be influenced. We choose to use the tools that Allah has given us to protect ourselves from him, or we choose not to. There was I read a story about the two shayateens, okay, because everybody has a qareen that is with them as well. And there was one, they met, these two, and there was one that was really thin and very weak and very, sick looking. And the other one, he was, he was big and he was jolly and he was very happy. And he looked, he was very large. And he said to the sick one that, what is wrong with you? Why do you look like that? What is wrong with you? And he said, verily, I am with a man who, when he eats, he says Bismillah. So I never get to eat. When he enters his house, he remembers Allah. So I never have a place to sleep. Yeah, when he went on to say things like this, which shows us that when we remember Allah, the power of the strength of the shaitan is weaker. When he drinks, he says Bismillah. So I'm constantly thirsty. And then the big one, he said, oh, shame for you. I'm with a man, he never remembers Allah. When he eats, I eat. When he sleeps, I sleep in his bed. When he goes into his house, I stay there. I'm always warm. I'm always, and he went on to say all of this type of thing, because the man he was with didn't remember Allah. And this made the shaitan that was with him stronger and stronger and stronger. This is why it's so important to use the tools that Allah has given us to protect ourselves from the shayateen. Reciting the last two surahs of the Quran after every salah, or in the morning, in the evening, before sleeping. The Ayatul Kursi, okay, which is known to protect us from the shaitan. Before sleeping, after every salah, we should be reciting Ayatul Kursi. The Prophet ﷺ said that, if I remember correctly, is that Allah will build for the one who recites Ayatul Kursi after every salah, nothing prevents him from entering Jannah except death. So if you are regular in reciting Ayatul Kursi after every salah, nothing is preventing you apart from the fact that you're still alive. Okay, nothing is preventing you from entering Jannah. But these are tools that we have to use in order to protect us from the shayateen. We know that when we eat and we don't say Bismillah, he eats with us and he drinks with us. Okay, when we say Bismillah, when we come in our house, we know that he can't enter with us. Okay, and he will say, there is no food for me here, there is no lodging for me here. And he has no effect on us. So the shaitan, he needs to have knowledge of what you hope, what you crave, so that then he can call you to it. So the things that you really want, the things that you really want to do, he will have knowledge of that so that he can then call you to those things. But that doesn't mean that he knows everything that is in your heart. Okay? It just means that he has more knowledge of you than maybe, the other people around you would have. Okay, how about the angels? Do they know? Do they know what is in our chests, in our hearts? And the answer is that Allah allows the angels, again, to know whatever they need to know to record accurately what it is that a person should be held accountable for. So the angels will know things like our intentions, okay? Because when you intend something good, it is written for you as a good deed. Even if you don't actualize that deed, if you intend something good, the angels write it for you as a good deed. Then if you do that deed, they write it for you as a good deed, and it's multiplied however many times, depending on the sincerity of your action. If you intend a bad deed, it is not written as anything. But if you intend it and you don't do it, and the reason for not doing it is because of your khashya of Allah, then it's written for you as a good deed. If you intend a bad deed and the only reason you didn't get to do it is because of circumstances, it is still not written for you as a bad deed. And if you do actualize that deed, then it is written for you as one bad deed. It is never multiplied. Okay, and this shows us, how much Allah wants good for us, how much He wants reward for us, and He doesn't want punishment for us. And this is from His rahmah. And even when you do a bad deed, it is not written straight away, not like the good deeds. It is delayed. There is a delay so that that person has a chance to seek forgiveness. So it's not even written for him. So there is that delay. And this is from Allah being Al-Halim, okay, the one who is forbearing. Okay, so Allah allows the angels to know whatever they need to know to be able to record accurately what it is that a person is held accountable for. So they have that knowledge again by Allah's permission. And then there are the things that are unspoken. Okay, so like we said, the intention or the actions of the heart, like hope and love of Allah and the fear, like those three that we have been mentioning again and again. The hope, the love, the fear, this is not expressed. Yes, it's manifested through our actions, but that the actions of the heart are known to the angels because they write them as good deeds. So the angels, they need this ability to record. It is also possible that they don't know everything. If they don't know every single thing, because there will be certain things that they don't need to know because we are not brought to account for them. So they are still not alimun bidati sudur. They are given permission for what they need to know. But what we do know is that the only one who knows everything inside out is Allah. And the matters of the heart, okay, it's easier to do deeds than it is to correct the intention. Yeah, even the Salaf, they would say that the matters of the heart are more of a struggle than the matters of the limbs. Okay, because uh, it's easier for Shaytan to work on your intention and corrupt your intention than it is for him to take away that deed. Okay, especially if you're doing something in a group, everybody's doing it together, but the intentions will be different. So that is more of a struggle for people than the actions of the limbs. Allah said in Surah Al-Imran, He said, "Inna Allah la yakhfa alayhi shay'un fil ardi wa la fis sama." Okay, indeed, nothing is hidden. Yeah, nothing is hidden from Allah. Yeah, fil ardi, in the earth, or in the heavens. Okay, nothing in the heavens and the earth is hidden from Allah. So nothing, okay, nothing is not known. So there is nothing that is unknown. Rather, He is very well aware of every deed, every action that is done, every movement, and every word. Anything that is done, anything that is uttered, He is aware of it. If something is done openly or secretly, okay, it is all the same to Allah. Like we said, nothing is hidden from Him. So the one who knows everything, now this is how it affects us. Okay, one, it will affect us in how, in remembering that when we do have things in our heart, when we do share things secretly, when we do speak openly, we know that Allah is Al-Alim. He is all knowing of what is in our chests and anything that is apparent. But the one who knows everything, okay, how does this affect us and our actions? The one who is aware of every single thing, okay, the one whose knowledge is complete and not even a speck of dust is hidden from him. We know that not a leaf falls except that Allah knows it. Okay, and this is, we hear it a lot, but if you imagine, just autumn in one city or one park, okay, the autumn season in one park, even if you limit it to one tree, how many leaves fall down, and Allah is knowing of where that leaf fell down from, and how long it took to land, and where it landed, and what's going to happen to it after it's landed. Is it going to get crunched on by children? Is it going to get swept up? He knows, the condition of every single leaf as it falls from that tree. So no leaf, no action, no word, no sound, no movement, nothing at all is hidden from Allah. And this is very different to us. Our knowledge is very limited. And this is why we don't question Allah and His ability. We don't say how. How can Allah know everything? We don't say this because our knowledge is so limited that is not able to understand everything. Okay, and this is why we don't ask how. So the one who has this complete knowledge, okay, and this is how it affects us. Obviously, his guidance, okay, can only be that which is the best. Yeah, his instruction and his guidance. So if he is the one who knows about everything, and He is the one who has told us what to do, what not to do, okay, we should listen to Him and we should accept it. Accept what He is saying, and going against what He says, okay, preferring misguidance over His instruction, going against His instruction, then a person obviously would be bringing about harm on himself. Okay, if you have a child, okay, the example of a child does not know everything that is best for him. Okay, but the adults around him, his parents, okay, they will instruct him to do certain things, or they will, they will make certain rules for that child in order for that child to flourish, and in order for that child to be happy, and in order for that child to live a good life. They will do their best to make sure that those rules are followed, because they know that is in the benefit, in the interest of the child. But if he doesn't want to, and he doesn't listen to the instructions that are given to him, then he's going to come to harm. He's going to harm himself, because he should listen to those who have more knowledge than him. So Allah is the one, yeah, who has all encompassing, this complete knowledge. So obviously whatever He has guided us to is best. So then upon us is to trust Him and accept this guidance and accept this instruction. That doesn't mean that we will not struggle with certain things, okay, but we are striving to do them because we know that Allah is the one who has sent this as guidance, okay, sent what is right and what is wrong, and we push ourselves to do what is right, and we push ourselves to stay away from what is wrong. That doesn't mean we won't slip. Of course we will slip. We will make mistakes. But this is from what Allah loves as well. He has guided us to, whatever He has guided us to is best. So we need to trust Him. And if there is something that we don't understand, then we ask Allah to give us understanding, but we still have to accept it. Okay? And if we don't understand, the fault doesn't lie with Allah. He's Al-Alim. The fault lies with us and our understanding. And in the same way, when Allah decrees something, you will see this name Al-Alim comes a lot with Al-Hakim, okay, the one who is the most wise. This is one of the meanings of the name. In the same way, when Allah decrees something, then it is from His knowledge. Okay, He knows the outcome of every situation. He knows what has happened. He knows what is going to happen. He knows what is happening now, and He knows even what would have happened if that thing hadn't happened. So He knows the outcome of every situation. And we don't. We don't know the outcome of every situation. We may think we know the outcome, but we don't know. From His unlimited knowledge, okay, He decrees what is good for us. And we know that the Prophet ﷺ said for the believer, okay, that the affair for the believer is amazing, because when he goes through ease, he is grateful, and this is good for him. And when he goes through difficulty, he is patient, and that is good for him. And Allah said in the Quran, وَعَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُ شَيْئًا, okay, that perhaps you hate a thing, وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ, but it is good for you. وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا, and perhaps you love a thing, وَهُوَ شَرٌ لَكُمْ, and it is bad for you. وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ, and Allah knows, وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ, and you don't know. Okay, so Allah is the one who knows. When He decrees something for us, there is going to be some good in it, even if we can't see it. Usually in hindsight, we can see it, but upon the believer is to trust and accept the qadr of Allah, and trust that there is some good that will come out of it, and we just have to have sabr and wait to see it. And I will stop there, inshallah. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك.